We'll go ahead and get started and take questions for Matthias Janmark on the left, Max Pacioretty on the right. We'll start with Justin Emerson from the Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Max, just to start, how are you feeling? Kind of what went into getting into the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I was injured and was some good days and bad days, but turned the corner there. A couple days ago, I think Pete had mentioned that I was skating, and a lot of people behind the scenes were helping me, around the clock to get to where I'm at right now. And that's, what helped me feel so good tonight. So I'm thankful for all the people that put in, the effort to get me out there. And that was, a big reason why I was able to play tonight.
Next question tonight comes from Ben Goetz with the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Hey, Matthias, just last time, when was the last time you had a hat trick, and how did it feel getting one tonight in Game 7?
Yeah, I had a hat trick, a couple hat tricks back home in the Swedish league. Never had one over here. But yeah, this is what every player dream of, to score in Game 7 and to win a Game 7. And yeah, to score a hat trick is what everyone dreams of. But yeah, it's hard to believe that it's going to happen to you. But yeah, today the bounces were going in. So yeah, it's a dream come true for sure.
We'll go to Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press.
Matthias, when you came here in April, you had mentioned about, the Vegas energy, the crowd. You've obviously played here throughout the season and first few games in this series, but tonight, the energy, the crowd, as you're scoring each goal, are you just feeding off that? Can you just explain that adrenaline that you feed off of each goal as the game closes and it appears you guys are going to pull away for the win?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it in the locker room before the game that we're playing a Game 7 here in Vegas in front of our home fans. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, really. And of course, when you score goals and you get into the lead, you grab the momentum that the crowd gives you, and it's great to have. It's just lucky. We're just lucky to have the fans back at the capacity that we have, and yeah, you try to just enjoy it and you try to take advantage of it for sure.
Next, we'll go to Jesse Granger from The Athletic.
Hey, Matthias, you guys, obviously you want to get better as the playoffs go on and continue to improve. What do you think you learned about your team during this series?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very hard series. I mean, Minnesota is a great team. It's hard to match up, and they were a good regular season team against our team. And yeah, we were up 3-1. You want to learn to close those games out when you have the chance. But they were a good team. They fought back, and I think what I've learned throughout my career in the playoffs is you have to go through these games if you want to get far. So you got to know how to play. And I mean, I think the feeling in the locker room today was great. I don't think there ever was a doubt that we were going to lose this game or that we were going to win this game. So I think you're going to be here again in a Game 6, in a Game 7. So yeah, you learn how we need to play in those games, and that's what we got to bring forward here.
Next question here from Matthias and Max goes to Ed Graney, Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Max, can you maybe describe, you had to watch up until now, the emotions of having to watch and wanting to be in there, and then to come out tonight in such a game and get the game-winning goal, those emotions in terms of how you had to check those and just kind of try to get back into it?
Yeah, I think it was important for me not to get too emotional. It's definitely a lot more nerve-wracking when you're sitting up there watching and you don't have any control over the game. So I'd much rather be on the ice than up in the press box watching. And as Yanni mentioned, we go up 3-1, but them coming back is the adversity that will make us stronger in the long run. So to come out and play a game the way we did in a Game 7 when their backs against the wall, we know what type of group we have. And moving forward, it's nice to play with that type of depth. We got contributions from every line tonight, and that's the way we got to play going forward. And that makes hockey a lot more fun as well.
Time for a couple of final questions with Matthias Janmark, Max Pacioretty. Next, we'll go to Danny Webster, NHL.com.
Max, just your early thoughts on playing Colorado in the second round.
Yeah, the best team in the league. They're arguably have the best player in the league. A couple of them. We got to make life hard on them. We knew that to get to where we want to go, we'd have to go through them. At least in the second round. So we're going to get each other here pretty fresh. And as I mentioned, we both had the same record, and they got us on a tie break. But everyone, I think, believes that they're the measuring stick team in the league, and they've been sitting at home probably resting up. But no matter what, we got to make life difficult, especially on their star players.
Next question tonight comes from David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
I mean, just how badly did you want that last one? Obviously diving for it. And then after that, they showed you on the scoreboard. It looked like you were almost a little bit embarrassed or kind of blushing there a little bit. What was that moment like?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you have a chance to score a hat trick. Yeah, but really, like, you had a chance to score a goal and put the game away. So yeah, that was nice. And yeah, for sure, it was a long time between whistles there, and everyone was kind of on me. So yeah, you try to take it in, but at the same time, it was a huge team win tonight, like Patch said, and yeah, you kind of want to share it with everyone else too.
Final question tonight from Matthias and Max goes to Ron Futrell, Channel 8, Las Vegas.
Hey there, guys. I'd like to get your thoughts on the new guys stepping up tonight. I won't include you two in the new guys, certainly, but White Cloud and we also had the goal from White Cloud and Haig tonight that were instrumental in this game. Your thoughts on that, either one of you?
Yeah, personally, I mean, it was not just any goals; it was big goals. Hager's was a 2-1 leading goal, and then White's goal kind of gave us a little two-goal lead there to play on. I mean, huge goals, and for them, I feel like in these game sevens that happens sometimes. That guys that you don't really expect to step up, myself included today, is the ones that shows up at the right spot. So that was huge goals for the team for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and open up to questions for Zach Whitecloud on the left, Nicholas Haig on the right. We'll start with Ben Goetz from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Hey, Nick, just what were the emotions like tonight, and what was it like playing in your first ever Game 7?
It was a ton of fun. The building was rocking, which is always awesome, but it was on another level tonight. And, a little nervous at the start, but boy, was that a fun game. And, I'm happy it went our way.
Next question tonight comes from Brian Blessing, Vegas Hockey Hotline.
Zach, probably along the same lines, just the experiences for you and Nick, be remembering this years from now playing in a Game 7. What do you take away from something from, a situation like this moving forward from an
experience standpoint? I mean, it's one of those games where, you get so deep in the series and teams know each other so well. The level of execution has to be so high. I think that's one, emphasis we put on our game as a team is if we can go out and execute our game and stick to our game and, put our game to other teams for a full 60, we're going to do some good things. So as far as experience, for myself or for Hager too, it's always good to learn in those situations and learn what that atmosphere is like, learn what the pressure's like. And it's fun. It's the best time of the year. And, when you're playing in Game 7s, I mean, there's nowhere you'd rather be.
Next, we'll go to Justin Emerson from the Las Vegas Sun.
Zach, you probably knew better than we did what Max Pacioretty's status was. To us, it took us all by surprise when he hopped out for warmups. So I guess what kind of boost does that give you guys when he's able to get out there and then score a goal?
I don't have to say anything on that. I think everyone watching, at home in the building, and then for anyone who knows who Max Pacioretty is and what he does for our team, what kind of boost he is, and especially for an older guy in the room, a leader, a guy that plays with passion, plays with fire, and plays. He wants to score every game and score as much as he can. And when you have that guy in your room and on the ice, it makes a world of difference. Obviously you saw what he did tonight and came out and you obviously saw what he did. So.
Next question tonight comes from Jesse Granger with The Athletic.
Hey, Nick, Zach talked about kind of the learning experience of this Game 7. What do you think you learned about this team in this series overall that you can use moving forward in the playoffs?
We never give up. I think, as a group we've been so good all year at, trying to keep an even keel and just keep pushing forward. And, we're never out of the fight. I think, it's testament to that. We have two chances to close it out, once at home, once on the road, and not being able to do that. But coming back here, we felt good about our game. We knew we were in a good spot, and we got another chance to win a hockey game, move on, and I think we all eat that up. And it was a great night, a lot of fun, and we're on to the next one.
Next, we'll go to Willie Ramirez from the Associated Press.
Zach, you talk about learning experiences, but last year was somewhat of a coming out party for you. I mean, you proved to a lot of people that you belonged in the lineup and your performance in the bubble. How comfortable were you in this postseason in being able to lean on last season and sort of bring those experiences into this? Because you skated pretty comfortably. You looked, like a savvy veteran, and then to get a goal in this game.
Learning last year, and it's not just our sport too. It's any sport or any profession. The more experience you get, the more comfortable and confident you feel in situations, and that obviously comes with being a year older too, and going through a full season, and obviously just another year with the team too. And when you do get in those situations in the playoffs, they're up and downs, right? So last year was a good learning lesson for me to manage those and make sure that you're playing consistent hockey, executing on a regular basis and at a high level, and obviously learning that mistakes are amplified in the playoffs. And when you come into this playoff run and you kind of go in and know what to go into right away, and how to play. And and obviously, like you said, they're any experience you can get is huge.
Take a couple more final questions for Zach Whitecloud and Nicholas Haig. Next, we'll go to David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hi for Nick. You guys gave up a goal late in the first period. You go in 1-1 to the second. Just kind of what was said and why were you guys able to continue the dominance maybe that you guys have shown throughout the series in that period?
Yeah, I mean, we felt good about our first period. We wanted to keep the pressure on, and you got to kind of deal with those. There's probably a good chance they're going to score a goal. They're a good hockey team, but like I said earlier, the mindset in our room isn't just shut it down after that. We felt good about our period, and we just wanted to keep pushing forward. And I think that's one of the things that we do a great job of as a group is it's like you said, there's going to be up and downs, and try to keep an even keel and keep pushing forward. I think that's what we did. That's what makes our team so special, I think.
Next question tonight goes to Sean Keeler, Denver Post.
Hey guys, Max talked about the next series. I wonder if you guys could talk about Colorado. And Max mentioned you got to make life hard for their skill and their speed. You guys know them better than anybody. Is that the key, and how do you make that life hard?
You want that one or me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, they have a lot of speed and skill, and they're good in all areas of the ice, and their lineups very good all the way through it. So, like you said, limiting that speed, limiting that skill, making it tough in all areas of the ice, and I think focusing on our game too and what we do well, and like I said before, executing that game plan and managing pucks, doing all the little things that make us a good team are going to be key. And looking forward to the next year.
Final question tonight goes to Christopher Chapman, Fox Sports, Las Vegas.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, do you go out and celebrate this with a big cup of Cold Stone? And when you scored that goal, Mark Stone grabbed you, looked like he lifted you about 5 feet off the ice. Could you just kind of share what he said to you when he grabbed you?
When when we scored goals in our building, you can't hear anything. You can. And I was, 3 inches away from Mark Stone, and I could barely hear him yelling. So, Stoney's one of those guys that no matter who scores, if he's on the bench or if he's on the ice, you can, as a fan and as a teammate, you can kind of hear what he's saying when you look at him celebrating. He's just screaming and he's happy for you. And he's one of a kind in goal celebrations. Just a one-of-a-kind human, and obviously, what he does is huge for us, and to be right there and celebrate that goal with him was huge. And as far as the Cold Stone, I think it might be closed, which is unfortunate. So we'll see about tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Now open up to questions for Golden Knights head coach Pete DeBoer. We'll start with Ed Graney, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Pete, just sometimes just the presence of someone can kind of add a little juice, and obviously he goes in and scores what proves the game-winning goal, so that's good. But can you just talk about Max coming back and maybe any kind of lift just having him out there might have meant?
Well, absolutely. Huge lift. Just writing his name on the board today in the lineup, I think gave our group a lift. There was a lot to unpack with this series, and playing the first 6 games without him, our leading goal scorer, was a hill that our group had to climb, and it was critical, that we got him back tonight. It changed, I thought, everything about our confidence to score. Slotted our lines properly so we could get Tuck and Janmark back together in the third line, which you saw, some of the results of that. So, it was critical, and he worked really hard to get back. We were hoping to get him back earlier. So was he. He had some setbacks, kept working away at it, and, got back just in time.
Next question for Pete tonight goes to Jesse Granger with The Athletic.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Pete, we talk a lot about the need to improve as the playoffs go on. I'm curious, as a coach, when you look back at this series, what do you think you learned about your team, and what can you use moving forward from it?
Well, I'm just proud of the group. I think I told Ed, there was a lot to unpack this series between the way Minnesota had our team's number, not just this year, but, over the history of the franchise, their comfortability of playing in here and confidence, with that, not many teams have, the 11 false positive COVID tests that we had to deal with during the series, and the one real positive COVID test, the injuries to Max and obviously Naber being on the list. There was just a lot of stuff, and I thought I was just really proud of how our group blocked out the noise, didn't make any excuses, just kept moving forward. And, we knew it was going to be a really tough series. I guess that's what you get for tying for the most points in the league, is to get an opponent like that. And I failed like I wanted to right off the bat to acknowledge, how hard Minnesota played and how well they played, and what a great opponent they were, because they gave us everything we could handle.
We'll go to Ben Goetz from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Pete, you mentioned Matthias Janmark earlier. Just how much of a boost was it to have him and that entire third line going tonight?
Yeah, like I said, I think we led, or we tied for, we're right there for the league lead in goals this year during the season. And then, when you take Max Pacioretty out, and then you have to fill that hole, and then, someone else has got to play in Tucky's spot. It affects your scoring confidence of your group. And then you're playing a real good defensive team and a hot goalie. And, so I think once we got healthy tonight and got everyone slotted properly, I think everyone played with more confidence. And Yanni's one of those guys. He's worked hard since day one. We knew he was going to be a great addition. He brings a lot of intangibles. I know that the lack of goal scoring was weighing on him, so couldn't have picked a better time.
Next question tonight comes from Stormy Bontoni, Vegas Golden Knights.
Hey, Stormy.
Pete, when you talk about all of the things that went into you guys ultimately being able to close out this series, to end it in a game that, at least on paper, looked to be the most efficient 60-minute effort you guys have put on, how much better does that make you moving ahead to the next round?
Well, I think it's going to make us better. You hope that moments like that galvanize your group. I think when we talked this morning in our team meeting, we talked about how, we felt that we were prepared for this tonight. The preparation was done. It was done during the condensed season and during the winning streaks and the losing streaks and the practices. And, we were ready to go. And, we had all hands on deck from a health perspective other than McNabb. And, we felt with that lineup that we would be a real hard team to beat tonight.
Next question tonight goes to Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Justin.
Hi, Pete. Your first 2 goals, they answered to tie it both times, but then going into the third, you were up 4-2, and then you held them, I think, to 4 shots in the third period. I was just curious your thoughts on how well the team kind of shut the door there in the third period.
Yeah, they're a really tough team to play against because they're very opportunistic. I mean, you're sitting there, halfway through that game, and you feel like you've worked hard and carried the play, which, had happened to us on quite a few occasions during the series, particularly Game 5 here when we, outshot them 21-1 in the second period, and they get one look and it's in the net, and not on Flower because he played solid all series and great all series. They're just an opportunistic team, and that was the story again tonight. I really liked our game right from the drop of the puck, but they were still hanging around halfway through it.
Time for a few more tonight with Pete DeBoer. Next question goes to Willie Ramirez, Associated Press.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, Pete, you talked about how, Mark's scoring drought was sort of weighing on him. When you look at all 4 Golden Knights that scored tonight for you, they had gone at least a month without scoring. Max, of course, was injured, but Haig, Whitecloud, I mean, I'm sure that's the offensive depth that you drew up for tonight. But how important is it going into a series against the Avalanche that the guys that score, at least 3 of the 4 guys that may not be, who you expected to score when you got the offensive weapons you do, but now leave this series with a lot of confidence?
Yeah, great point, and I should have acknowledged Haig and Whitecloud earlier. Those 2 kids have done a phenomenal job for us all year. And I think the reason we score easier this year than we have the year before or the year previous when I was here, has been the addition of the defensemen scoring back there and their ability to get pucks to the net and transition pucks. And those 2 kids particularly, we've asked them right from day one to do those things, and they both done it all year and came up huge tonight.
Next question tonight goes to Danny Webster, NHL.com.
Hey, Danny.
Pete, I know you probably want to celebrate this one a little bit, but quick turnaround with a trip to Denver on Sunday. Just your early thoughts on what awaits you guys in the second round.
Well, I think we know, and I'm sure I'm going to read from you guys all about the hill we've got to climb here. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it tonight. I think we know what we're dealing with, and we'll enjoy this tonight and start looking at that tomorrow.
Final question tonight goes to Brian Blessing from the Vegas Hockey Hotline.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Pete. Again, looking forward to the Avalanche. You get Pacioretty back. The hopes McNabb comes back. Possibly Krebs. You're starting to, get your pieces in place. You survived the first round, and you had adversity from an injury perspective. The possibilities of getting healthy as you move forward.
Yeah, it's not too often you're healthier going into the second round than you were entering the first, but that was probably the case. So I love our group. I'm proud of how we handled the first round, and obviously, we're excited about getting to work here and seeing how we stack up against Colorado.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
That'll conclude tonight's media availability. We'll send full recording shortly. Thanks, everyone, for the time tonight.